Hello again in this installment of Spiritual Wisdom. My name's Nicholas. If you're new to my channel, on my channel Spiritual Wisdom I talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism and all manner of magical topics. So if you're interested in manifestation, crystals, spiritual energies, astrology, this is the channel for you. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about dare to work. Now, dare to work is a long subject, and I could actually talk to people for hours what dare to work is, how to work with different gods and deities. I could talk about that for hours. So I'm trying to get as much in about this subject as possible on this video. And I'll make other videos about different gods, goddesses. So what is dare to work? Dare to work is essentially working with different gods and goddesses. So our ancestors and many cultures of the world worshipped many gods and goddesses and saw each individual god as just that, an individual. In today's modern paganism, like within Wicca, many of us who are Wiccan, we worship the god and goddess, and the goddess is seen as one goddess, and all these different goddesses, which some Wiccans choose to work with, are just different aspects of the same goddess. Same goes for the god, and it depends on each, but dare to work is not just a Wiccan practice, it goes further back than Wicca, because Wicca is pagan, it's a modern religion with pagan roots and elements of witchcraft, but Wicca and witchcraft are not the same thing, and I'll talk about that more in later videos. And paganism is an umbrella term that describes a variety of different religions and spiritual paths that predate Christianity, Judea and Islam. However, with dare to work, it's about working with different gods and goddesses. So you might feel like very drawn to some people. They're fascinated by Norse mythology and they go, I'd love to work with God Thor. And if they feel very drawn, very connected to God Thor, then God Thor has picked them. They haven't necessarily picked him. Some people are very interested in Egyptian mythology and they work with Egyptian goddess, be that Bas, the cat goddess, or Isis. That particular goddess has picked them. They haven't really picked them. The person might think I've picked a god, but the god has picked you. Same when people go to crystal shops and they pick a crystal. I say the energy of the crystals picked them, and that crystal's picked them. They haven't picked it, because your soul, certain gods, goddesses, and certain things, whatever energetic energy, they know what your soul needs, they know what you want, and there's a reason why you feel drawn to that energy, and that energy's drawn to your energy and calling you to it. For example, some people are very drawn to amethyst, or they might go to a crystal shop and they find a beautiful piece of blue agate, and they might have a few pieces at home, but this piece is big or a certain size or shape, and they feel very drawn to it, and they go, I must buy this, I must go home with it. And there's just something about that crystal that pulls them in and draws them to buy it. And gods are very much the same, and deities want to help us, but again, with dare to work, these are just a few guidelines to help you if you're interested in work with deities. So one, you want to learn about that deity's mythology. You want to get to know that god or goddess, get to know the myths, the legends about them. Two, don't forget to give offerings to that god or goddess for helping you, and learn what traditional offerings were given to that god or goddess. And lesson 3 is you want to set up an altar or sacred space. Now, I've worked with many deities. I've worked with Horus, I've worked with Isis, and my main goddess is Goddess Hecate, and in my temple I have an altar to Hecate and a beautiful tapestry of Hecate, because for me Hecate is my mother, friend and teacher. And with any of the gods I talk about or dare to work, it's a long topic, and I want to do it justice. And when we talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, and a lot of these spiritual topics, there's so much information about them, and I try to give as much information as possible and try to be as factual as possible as well. So these are some guidelines with working with deities, and it is a very pagan practice, and people who follow different pagan paths will work with different deities. Like some people who follow a druid path will work with the Celtic gods and goddesses. Like Morgan, she's a Celtic goddess. Some people will work with the Norse gods because they're very connected to the Norse path. But different paths will call to different people. And Goddess Hecate helps people who are outcasts or who are at a crossroads in their life. Either physically they're at a crossroads or metaphorically. And metaphorically, there's been a few times in my life where I've been at a crossroads and I've meditated with Goddess Hecate. I've given offerings to show what I'm grateful for her help, and I've meditated with her, and she's taught me things about myself, about my situation, and helped me get out of a difficult situation, or she's told me how to put my best feet forward. And whenever you work with certain gods and goddesses, they will give you the advice, the guidance you need, and they'll help you put your best foot forward in a situation. When it comes to Goddess Morgan as well, she is similar to Hecate, but they're very different. But what they have in common is they're both goddesses, what give you that power, that strength, and they want you to take back your own power, your own sovereignty. Because Hecate would rather you treated her as a friend or as a mother figure or teacher. She doesn't necessarily want you to beg to her or beg for this, beg for that. Doesn't mind you asking for things, but she wants you to sort of take your power back and realize your own power. Morgan is very much the same. She will give you the advice, the guidance you need, but because she's a warrior goddess, Morgan, she'll want you to fight for the things you want, and she'll tell you to fight for the future and the things you want. However, there are many other beautiful gods, and I will talk about each individual god and goddess in other videos, and my next video will be on the goddess Hecate. However, until the next installment of Spiritual Wisdom, this is me just sharing some information about deity work and how deities are wonderful to work with and how they can help you. Until next time, may meet, may part, meet again. Blessed be.